Alright, should be working again now. I'm starting to use more subds in my workflow again, for various reasons. I'm still trying to find a good mix of subds and rounded shader, which is pretty tricky. Yeah, I'm using, like, when I do use subds, I use edge weighting quite intensely. So, well, original plan was, well, actually I didn't have an original plan, but now it's evolving into some cockpit computer thing. Feeling that thing at all. Some placeholder buttons. Maybe some kind of a rail with a thing on it. I have no idea why you would have that over a monitor, but some sci-fi reasons. See if my stream dies again from this. I'm really struggling to come up with anything interesting with this one. See if some booleans will save the day. It's getting somewhere. getting better at least. So the idea is not that this is supposed to be like a freestanding monitor, but more like part of a group, so I'm not gonna care so much about the back. Still need to find some kind of a design language for this. So either the chat is very quiet today, or mine is just not working. So I'm not seeing anything. Alright, then it's not me then. Planet Coaster Alpha. I do not get it. Hello. That's what I'm doing via the internet. Just add more hotkeys. That's all you need. That's all I do. Pretty much. I have no idea what I'm building right now. It is pretty good. I would not change because I'm so comfortable in it now, so there's no way I would change. Unless something that was like ridiculously better would come out, then sure. But I would need a lot of convincing to quit Moto. Okay. I always have this period when I'm starting to stream and work on something where I feel it's horrible, and it always takes like some time before the feeling goes away. Now this one is starting to go into not horrible territory, which is nice. Or at least, you know, that's how I feel. It might still be horrible, but at least I'm okay with it. Probably the ease of use, just like everything is built into the package almost. Like I use a lot of scripts, but they're not plugins, and it's very easy to just, you know, create macros and hotkeys and just, you know, get faster. And even though I've been using it for like a decade, I'm still learning things about the core tool set, which is nice. It depends on what kind of game asset. If I would be making something that was like say baked down to like a relatively low res, then yeah, my workflow would be different. But if this was like for some pretty fancy thing, then no, my workflow wouldn't be very different. Because these results, I mean, they work, so why not? Right, preset time. So I'm trying to pull together like a new preset material library so that you can quickly create things that look good. So this scene that I'm gonna be using this asset for, hopefully, probably be one of my test cases for that. Let's see how it works out. That's the plan, at least. Let's see. do need to get my quality up a bit. Close enough. I've been zooming in too much again, which happens like all the time. So I'm probably gonna end up throwing away a lot of this model, because right now I'm just trying some things, and I'm gonna try to make a scene later, and then this probably will not end up fitting very well, so I'll just throw away parts that don't. So most likely won't use all of this or anything, but then again I almost never use my streams for anything anyway, so it's no news. Okay. That's better. I'm gonna try to be a bit better with my presentation of my images, because I tend to be so sloppy. So I'm gonna try to practice that a bit. Not while streaming though, because the stream will just die. More lamps. I was gonna try to start reusing some of the stuff I do on the streams for kit bashing reasons, because I just tend to just throw away, like literally everything I make on my streams I just throw away. Which, you know, in the long run might seem a bit like a waste. No, that looks like a face. Oh, I mean, I refuse to change it out of principle. But yeah, it looks like a face. It still looks like a face. Yeah, big glowing face. Oh well, I just have to live with it. Yeah, I hate when people point that out, but it's like, it's even worse when you see it while you are doing it, because then it's like, yeah. Actually, I think this part is the part that I like the most. That's why I'm just hanging around here instead of doing the stuff that you can actually see. I have to migrate over and do the other things as well. What does this thing really need? That looks stupid. Let's get rid of that. Also need a lot of work before it looks good. I should just ditch that too. Hello? Chat is not dead, it's just that there's like no one saying anything. I think. I haven't heard about that before. Well, it's getting somewhere. Do a test. Just there we go. Beautiful. Yay! Okay, I just needed something on the screen. So I don't think your internet died because you're typing. Okay, so I need a little friend, this one here. Ah. That's... So I should do this now. Oh, since I don't care about topology, whatever, I'll just do it like this. This one is set to scooch over. See, this was blocking the view too much. That's pretty cool. Let's go with that. I think today is going to be a short stream because I'm really tired and I'm not going to finish this thing today anyway. So I'll be keeping it pretty short. It's just so crazy easy to design and model things today compared to when I started. It's not even fair. It's a lot less fun to freestyle designs when it takes so fucking long to build them. Yeah, so basically that is what I'm doing with my script. When I'm doing a boolean, it's actually because in Modo 8 and like it was only in Modo 9 that they fixed this, but before you could only do a boolean if all the meshes in the layer was closed. Except that wasn't true, because you could actually do a boolean if everything else was hidden. So actually what I'm doing is that I'm taking the things I'm going to do the boolean on and I hide everything else, and then I only do the boolean on that. So it's a bit sneaky. Nowadays you don't need to hide everything else, because Modo can handle it now. But I'm still hiding everything else that I don't want the boolean on before I'm running the actual boolean command. So I almost never do drill, actually. I should really be using that. It's on my to-do list to use drill more. It's a good tool. It's just that I'm lazy. There's actually quite a few tools in Modo that I'm, they're still on my list. Things that I need to just man up and start using. So yeah, in 8 you have to do that solution. You have to hide everything else. Yes, it can, if you're using Seneca's quick booleans, which is what I'm using. So I'm not using separate layers, because that's inefficient as hell. Yeah, I think you can grab like all his stuff from the Luxology forums, pretty much. There's a ton of stuff in there. It took me a long time to dig through and use the things I need. Actually, I keep finding new things that I want to add to my workflow, both in his scripts and other places. It's just too much stuff for me to absorb. Ethereum scripts are totally different and way less useful. They're not in the same league at all. In my opinion, at least. I mean, they're useful, but Seneca's script collection basically transforms Modo, and just in terms of efficiency. A lot of those things he made scripts for has actually been turned into features as well. So there's that. There's like a ton of things that were just you were not able to do before. Had to use scripts, and then they turned them into features. Because those scripts have been around for a long time, or like many of them have. I think I started using them with like Modo 2, I think. Some of them. Yeah, the difference between using Seneca scripts or not is a way bigger difference than any like version upgrade between Modo versions will ever be. There's just so much stuff in there. Not that happy with this one either. It's not chunky enough. Yeah, not sure what's going on here. I'm not sure when the latest updated one on the forums are. 2008 sounds old though. They're not on his site, they're on the Moto forums. Yeah, I know it looks like a sad robot. We were talking about that earlier. I discovered it as soon as I made it, but I refused to change it. I stand by my sad robots. Hello. I wouldn't say more. Yeah, right now most of it is with booleans. Yeah, for this one at least. It depends a bit. I'm trying to integrate more subDs back into my workflow, but not always. Sometimes. Depends. I mean, I use booleans when it makes sense. And I also know there are some changes coming that will impact my workflow that I cannot talk about yet. That will make me use booleans and subd more, even more, both of them. I'll just be doing more art, I guess. Can't have a stream without some quick pipe. It is Blue Stally. It's his latest instrumental album, actually. Oh, I forgot to check the APM. I have it running. 206 APM is the average this stream. My highest is still not over 350. Shame. It's good that you reminded me, because I totally forgot about that. That's pretty much what I'm playing every time I have a stream on my live stream playlist. Okay, what to do? Let's do something funky. Cool thing with this Boolean stuff is that you can explore shapes like a lot. I didn't explore shapes nearly as much as I'm doing nowadays. It's pretty cool. Should be doing it more, like even more. Just designing better, being less sloppy, more thoughtful. But I don't have time for that, especially not when streaming. Hello. Yeah, Booleans is like, well, the kids today won't understand, but it has been a dirty word for very long, and now suddenly it's super useful, while people have been told not to use them for like the last few decades, pretty much. That's not even an exaggeration. I haven't used Maya Max and Booleans, so I don't know. I haven't used those programs since, you know, old dark days when you were not allowed to do anything. Thanks a lot. Starting to feel pretty cozy now. Actually, feeling good about this, which I will enjoy while it lasts. Pivot, not unless I'm animating, which I don't do that much, mostly for setup reasons. Action center I change all the time. Also one of those things that, you know, I should be using more, like even more, because I only use a few of them. Did I do that? I just recently started using selection sets more aggressively because I didn't used to do that nearly as much as I should. That's also one of those things which people are like, what? One of those? But both selection sets and parts are extremely useful tools. Especially when you're making larger designs or having something that you're iterating a lot on, or something that use a little kit bash pieces on, actually. Also, I need to... Oh, never mind. Which one to use? I did not... Well, I kit bashed a few small pieces. Pretty much all my design is free flow, if you can call it that. It's just that I already have so many, I already looked at so many mechanical references, so I rarely look at any new specific ones for a project. It's just that, you know, I already have so many of them in my head, so it's like whatever. So when I'm streaming, I'm just making shit up. There's no thinking involved, which might not be a good thing, but yeah. I mean, like, there's plenty of Modo users who are not as fast as me, obviously. I mean, it's partially Modo, because Modo makes it very easy for me to keep customizing my workflow and keep improving, but a big part of the reason is, of course, that I'm actually pushing myself to become faster all the time. It's very easy to just stop and be, you know, happy with your workflow. It's just people often wait for like a new cool thing to appear before changing their workflow. They're like, oh yeah, now there's like this new cool program or this new cool method of working, and they change their workflow. I try to always push the workflow, even if it's like there's nothing groundbreaking new happening. It's still cool to, you know, just have that sense of forward motion. Because I can tell the difference, like even if my workflow have not changed all that much from like, the last 1.5 years, I can still tell that I'm a lot faster than I used to be. Oh, is there a cube? So the stream will probably only last like another 10 minutes or something. It's quite slow started and I'm very tired. But I will put this up on YouTube as always. I will probably not do any fancy renders with this thing because it's not finished. No, wrong one. No. To an entire object. Well, it's pretty easy. It's almost every time I do something like that and people go like, oh, how do you do that with one click? Well, it's just that I'm doing all those things. So if you have one object you need to set the edge weight right. So you have this cube, you want to set the edge weight. Okay, so if I have one polygon, I'll do this and I'll set the edge weight to everything. So basically what I'm doing is that I have one polygon selected, then I select all of it, then I convert it to edges, then I set the edge weight, then I go back to this. So, one click. I don't care about angles ever. Only when it's something that needs to deform the character. It's all triangles in the rendering engine anyway. This thing like still sticks out like something horrible. One of my favorite things to make with the rounded shader is rails. Because normally you would have to build everything properly, and now you can just like shove a bunch of cubes into each other and you're done. Which is, you know, cheating, but it works so well. Let's see. Yeah, I couldn't be bothered to put the like on a temp texture, so I just put some text there. It's not final, I promise. What did I do? No. As Geo? No. Actually, that's a good question. I'm not sure how it bakes to displacement maps. I have not tried. Like, it bakes to everything else. Displacement maps are different though. I mean, I don't think it shows up in height and depth either. So it might not work with displacement maps, actually. That's a good question. I almost never bake displacement maps, so. Alright, now I'm a bit lost. Right. Stiff. Yeah, I don't bake the tangent space map. Apparently you can now. I get it correctly. I bake an object space normal map instead and convert it. Partially because I just like the control you have when you can actually control your yeah, just control the fixing the shading way more. So I like that. What do you mean with UV seams? So One of the things is that if you bake the rounded shader is a bit tricky because if you're not making like a traditional low poly, you're just baking the shader itself down to itself. There's a bunch of things that don't work. You need to bake to a copy of itself. So what I do is I take a copy of it and I have smooth normals on that and I bake to that, for example. I'm going to cover that in more in depth in my cockpit tutorial that I'm almost finished with. But yeah, there's some trickery to get a good workflow with that. Yeah, I baked the object space in Modo. I always do that even if it's not the rounded shader I'm baking. Thank you. I was quite happy with that one actually. A bit more clean than my normal kit bash mumbo jumbo. Not kit bash but speed clutter stuff. Actually, come to think of it, it's not very often that I actually have to go in and edit things on like a vertex level, like I just did. Pretty uncommon actually. Alright, that's 1.5 hours. That has to be enough. Yeah, I know it's been slow in the making. Oh, I hate when that happens. One of my scripts does that, it turns off all of the meshes. Alright. Oh, I'll be doing more streams, so thanks for watching, and I'll be putting this on YouTube as always.